My name's David Keene. I'm presently president of the National Rifle Association, and I'm involved in a lot of other organizations as well. I'm on the board of the American Conservative Union, which I chaired for some 27 years. On the board of the Center for the National Interest, which used to be the Nixon Center here in Washington, and very active in the Constitution Project and an organization called Right on Crime, which are criminal reform groups. And I guess if you describe my emerging philosophy in philosophical or historic terms, it would be sort of quasi-libertarian on the one hand or Jeffersonian on the other. I've described my philosophy by saying if somebody thinks something ought to be done by the national government, I suggest that it should be done by the states. And if they suggest it ought to be done by the states, I ask what's wrong with the cities and the counties. And if you say that it ought to be imposed there, I ask what's wrong with voluntary associations. I think that's a question that Jefferson. The interesting thing about the conservative movement then and now is its sort of consistent factionalism, if you will. Successful movements are not homogeneous unless they're communists or Nazis, I guess. They become homogeneous by shooting the outliers. But successful political movements are coalitions of people who agree on a lot of things and disagree on other things. Conservatives have been famously fractious. And what we've discovered over the years is that the coalition is very stable. Most conservatives are primarily limited government, free economic people. Then there are smaller groups that are now national defense conservatives, you'd call them, and social conservatives. And they work together, but it's the sort of thread that runs through everything is hostility to big government, belief in individual freedom and in free markets. And that dominates most of it. I'm always surprised that every 4 or 5 years some journalist will discover that conservatives aren't always alike, and there'll be a spate of articles about how can this coalition hold together when these people are different. Well, successful coalitions have to reach out and bring in as many people that have common values rather than seek people that agree on everything.